Hey y'all, this week we're embracing the cozy vibes of fall with 4 delicious slow cooking meals that are perfect for those chilly nights. We'll start with a tender country Swiss steak, then dive into a flavorful Tex-Mex Chicken Taco soup. Next up is a hearty Texas style chili that'll warm you to your very core. And we'll finish with some comforting pinto beans alongside some creamy Mexican corn pudding. So let's get slow cooking. So for our Swiss steak, we're going to cut up 1 onion, slice 1 bell pepper, and mash up 3 cloves of garlic. I'm taking some cube steak and then just slicing it up. I have about 2 pounds here, and I'm going to salt and pepper it liberally. This is another one of Paula Deen's recipes, so I'll leave that linked below. I'm taking about 1/4 cup of avocado oil and heating that up on the stove. I'm taking my cube steak and just dredging that in some all-purpose flour. I'm going to shake them off a bit and lay them in my oil. That's piping hot by now. You want this to be really hot because we are just browning these. We're not going to cook them through. Once that side's browned, I'm going to flip them over and brown them on the other. I'm going to take a dab of butter and plop it on the top of them. Then I'm going to remove them and put them on a plate while I finish off the veggies. You're going to add your veggies into the dredgings of the steak, and you're going to want to cook them and really scrape the bottom to get them coated in that good browning that we have on the bottom of the skillet there from the steak. Once they've come translucent, I'm going to add back in my steak. I'm going to take 1 can of diced tomatoes, pour that in, and then I'm going to fill that can up with water and pour that in as well. Once this starts simmering, you're going to pop your lid on and cook it for about 1 hour and 45 minutes until the steak is tender and your gravy is thick. Now I serve this with rice. You can do potatoes or whatever you like, but this is a simple and good fall meal. Now on to chicken taco soup. This recipe comes from my favorite YouTube lady, In the Kitchen with Mama Mel. I'll leave her video linked below. I'm gonna put in 4 chicken breasts, and I've greased this crock pot. I'm gonna put in 1 pretty well diced onion. I'm gonna throw in a can of whole kernel corn, not drained or anything. I'm gonna add in 1 normal size can of enchilada sauce, and I like to put in an extra small can as well. I'm taking some Rotel and adding that in. You don't drain that either. And I'm adding some black beans, but you do want to drain this. You don't want that black liquid stuff in there. And I'm gonna add in 3 cups of chicken stock, and I didn't mix it well enough. So yeah, you want to mix it well. And I'm adding in 2 servings of taco seasoning. So if you got 2 packets or 1 packet, whatever you want, but I like to add 2. I'm also throwing in here some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, chili powder, and Mexican oregano. Now I cook this on low for about 2 to 3 hours. My only option is 4, but I just set a timer. When that's done, I take my chicken out, shred it, and pour it back into the crock pot and mix it up, and it's ready to serve. This is honestly one of my family's favorites. We dress it up with sour cream, cheese, green onion, whatever you want, jalapeno you could do, and then I fry some tortillas on the side. The fresh fried tortillas are very good with it. Texas style chili. So I got inspiration from Meat Church's Texas chili, but I can't afford the Meat Church mixing all the time. So I make my own. I just add in 2 tablespoons of dark chili powder. Oops, that was a little more, but that's some ancho chili powder right there that I'm adding in, and I probably added in about a tablespoon. I'm gonna add in 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and like a 1/4 a teaspoon to a 1/2 a teaspoon of cayenne. It's really up to your heat preference. Then I'm adding in about a tablespoon of oregano, Mexican oregano. Two teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then I'm gonna crumble in 3 bullion cubes, but you could always use 3 teaspoons of the bullion powder. Here I'm chopping up a big onion, a white onion, and I already chopped up like 2 to 3 jumbo red onions. You'll see in a second, but you just want to finely dice them. And I also minced up about 4 cloves of garlic. I added some avocado oil to the pan, and now I'm going to throw in my onions and garlic. Then I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of chipotle powder. I'm going to mix these around and cook them very low until they are almost caramelized for about 20 to 25 minutes on a super low heat with the lid on. Just check it occasionally and stir it around, but when it's caramelized, you're going to want to throw in 3 pounds of ground beef, and 1 pound of pork sausage. Now, I'm not looking for intense browning on this. I just kind of want to get it browned a bit and mixed in. I like to make sure mine is chopped in really good, like very chopped up, because that's how I like my chili. I'm going to add in 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. Then I'm going to throw in 2 cans of Rotel, not drained or anything. Then you're going to want to add in 1 bottle of Corona Extra. Now, I'm not a drinker, but I can say that this beer in here does smell very, very good. I'm going to add in 3 to 4 tablespoons of that seasoning I mixed up at the beginning. You're going to want to mix that very well and then bring it to a simmer. Cover, mixing occasionally, and I cook it for about 2 hours. The last 20 minutes of cooking, I like to take the lid off just to make it extra thick, because that's how I like my chili. And then if there's too much fat, I just skim some off of the top. You could always drain your meat, but that's just way too much for me. I do the topping similar to the last one, or exactly the same basically, but I do eat it with Ritz crackers. You could eat it with saltines or put it on hot dogs, whatever you want. Or you can do it like my husband does and eat it as a Frito pie. This pinto bean recipe I learned when I was 21, and I got Pioneer Woman's first cookbook, and this is her pinto bean recipe. But I just add in 2 pounds of pinto beans. I look the beans in the pot because I'm lazy a little bit, honestly. I don't rinse them. I just put them in the pot and look them, and then I add in enough water to cover them. I would say they're covered by about 2 inches of water when I think there's enough. I'm going to chop up some bacon, however much you want, and add it into the pot. I'm going to bring this pot to a boil, stir in it, and then make it a simmer and cook it on low and add water as I need. And you'll see I decided to add in a little bit more bacon here in a second. I cooked these for about 4 hours, but like I said, you just want to keep checking them and pouring water on top to keep them covered. When I think they are near done, I add in this pinto bean seasoning, and I used about 1/4 a cup for each pound. So I used 1/2 cup of this seasoning. I'm also going to salt and pepper to my taste. For the Mexican corn pudding, I just took 2 boxes of Jiffy and added 2 tablespoons of sugar. I add in 1 can of whole kernel corn drained and 1 can of cream style corn. I add about a half a cup of sour cream. Then I add in a small can of diced green chilies and 2 cups of shredded cheese. Then I'm going to add in a can of Rotel. I'm going to slowly incorporate about half a stick of melted butter. I put this in a greased dish and cook it at 400 for about 35-45 minutes until the top is golden brown. And look how very pretty this corn pudding is. All the pretty colors, it's so cute. And that is the last of our cozy fall slow cooker meals. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.